It's the Wait a Minute show.
Bruh, ain't that right, Lil Pan? Wait a minute. Book it. Really? Really?
The Wait a Minute Show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? What is up? What is up? What is up? We have finally, I'm not even going to waste any time. Don't worry about this beard. Don't worry about all this. This is none of your concern. We have finally made it. Episode 200. And it's crazy how everything happens for a reason. It's crazy how things line up. Jeez, I can't make this stuff up, ladies and gentlemen. So episode 200 is here. 200 shows in the books, man, or about to be in the books. How about that? 199, but we're about to put 200 in the books. And boy, do we got stuff to talk about. I am your host, Jelani J.B. Bodie. It is none other than your man and Lopan. Tell him what's up, Lopan. He's been with me from day one. So this is 200 episodes for him as well. I'm ecstatic. So I got a lot of stuff to cover. We got a lot of stuff, to play. We got a lot of stuff just to talk about. If you saw me on social media, my Big L Award, my Big Loser Award that I'm going to be handing out today, tonight, whatever you're watching this, I may be in witness protection in the next hour to 2 hours after I give my Big L Award out. That's how dangerous it is. So you don't want to go anywhere for that. But shouts out to the people that's jumping in the Wait a Minute Show chat room on YouTube. I see Mocha Bella out there. I see Country Roads out there. So appreciate y'all for jumping in. So normally I tell you, kind of some stuff that, went on, with me and everything. This is episode 200. We're doing it different. We're doing it a little bit different. So we are going to get into the T-Brizzle news here in just a moment. We're going to get into some basketball news and a little Major League Baseball and some other things that's on my mind. But before I do that, I want to go on here and start, kind of answering a few questions. This is 200 episodes. So first thing is, how did this thing get started? Where did this thing get started? How, all that. So real quick, for those who don't know, my favorite sports talk show was the Two Live Stews. Okay? Doug Stewart, Ryan Stewart. I love listening to those guys here in Atlanta. You've seen them on ESPN. You've seen them take on, Skip and all that stuff. All that good stuff. That's where it started from. Because I was like, that is what we need. That is what, avenue that's missing from sports talk. So I got into this thing because I like what they did. I wanted to continue it. I wanted to do my own thing, my own little flavor, with it. And that's how we got to this thing. But it's so amazing. Like looking around, you see the background and all that stuff. And now the video and everything. The Wait a Minute Show didn't start like that. Okay. And I'm gonna give you a little peek into how this thing started. The very first episode of the Wait a Minute Show. People may have heard me say, on those episodes, those first few episodes, coming to you from Master Closet Studios. No, I was really in the closet, ladies and gentlemen, at my house. Because the sound and all that stuff, I wanted to keep it in. And I would go in there, I would close the door in the closet, and I would do the show. And I would come out of there like Patrick Ewing in the layup line, sweating all over the place. But I was loving what I was doing. People was liking what I was doing. So that's why I kept doing it. Then the show expanded out, to other avenues. And now here we are as well in the Lions Den studio. So a little bit different that's going on. But yeah, your boy was, in the closet. Yeah, doing the show. You know, I got shirts and all that stuff in the way. I'm pushing them out the way, pants and everything. But it was all for the love. So if you was wondering, that's where it started. That's how it started. And look where we're at now. 200 shows later, we looking a little bit different. A little bit different, right, Lopan?
Indeed.
Yeah, right. So other stuff we'll talk about, during the show. But let's get into what we really came to talk about. And that is Tom Brady, ladies and gentlemen. Look, Wednesday, I had some problems or whatever Wednesday, so I wasn't able to go on S Squad Radio Network. So I was going to go ahead and continue what I was going to say there, here. And whether or not Tom Brady was going to retire. I was going to tell everybody he was retiring, at some point in the next probably week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks or anything like that. So then the news come out a few hours before we come on and they say, oh, Tom Brady's retired. I'm like, they beat me to it. I knew it. And then in true fashion, lightly corso, not so fast, my friend, as he would say, word came out. Hold on. That may not be true because Daddy Brady is saying different things. Tom Brady's agent is saying different things. We haven't heard from Tom Brady himself yet on whether or not he's retired. We haven't heard from the general manager. We haven't heard from Bruce Arians. We haven't heard from anybody. So to be or not to be retired, that's why this episode is labeled that. Tom Brady, is he retired or is he not retired? I'm going to tell you this. He's not retired, but I'm still sticking to my gun and saying he will be retired. And I think this thing is really, Tom Brady want to do it his way. He don't want somebody breaking the news like it happened, and then he has to confirm it. He wants it to be on his terms. And to me, I think he's comfortable with the way that he went out, okay? They played an amazing game. They were in that game against the Rams and everything. So that in itself, I think he can live with. I think he can live with 7 Super Bowls too, and a bunch of AFC, NFC championship appearances, a bunch of Super Bowl appearances. He went to 10, I want to say 10 or 11 or something like that. So that part, a piece of him, because he's the ultimate competitor, a piece of him will, it'll wear at him. But he has said time and time again that this decision, because he wanted to, play until he was 45. He'll be 45 this year, but he also said that his family would be heavily involved in his decision as far as like what he was going to do. And I think that has gained ground over the years, because obviously in his 20s, Tom not thinking about it, but in his 30s, but when he started getting to his 40s, I think he really started thinking about it, and where the family was, where as far as like what he wanted, it started to balance itself out. And then the family start taking over more and more as he completed these years. So I think he's going to sit down. I think he's going to, continue to talk about it with the family. I'm sure the family is saying, hey, if you want to play one more year, but we really want you at home, we really want to go ahead and do all this other stuff. I get that. I get that. And it's going to be his decision, I think, at the end of the day. But I think he's done. I'm going to go on right now to say, yeah, the reports, maybe they were a little bit early, but I just think it was really on his terms as far as like how he wanted to get that out. He wanted to tell everybody. He wants to notify everybody that he's made that. So we'll wait and we'll see and we'll wonder, but I think it'll be sooner than later. So I think in the next, few days, actually it might be tomorrow. Knowing Tom Brady, he might do it right before the AFC championship game and say, you know what? Let me set this social media on fire one last time. So I do think Tom Brady is done. Now, that begs or opens the question as far as like now, what is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going to do? Now, Bruce Arians has said that, he's cool with going with Blaine Gabbert and I think Kyle Trask. Trask is the other quarterback there. I don't believe that because they still have a nucleus. They still have guys that like Godwin that they want to bring back. They still want to try and make another run with the nucleus that they got. And I don't know if they really want to run that, with Blaine Gabbert or a guy 2-3 years in Kyle that's just in the league. I think they're going to be looking at a veteran quarterback once again. Hello. They're going to start sparking up the Aaron Rodgers news Hello, they're going to start sparking up the Russell Wilson news. All that stuff is going to be going on, and that stuff is going to be tempting. Think about it. If Aaron Rodgers wants to leave, he could see the Green Bay Packers maybe once again, but Russell Wilson as well, being able to see the Seattle Seahawks once again. And they saw what Tom Brady was able to do. Yeah, they're going to sign up for that if they want to out. So don't believe all that stuff that they're going to just roll with the backup quarterback. Because if that was the case, they would have did that after Jameis left. But Tom Brady made himself available, and it was like everything changed. So the same thing is going to hold itself for this upcoming offseason if Russell Wilson or if Aaron Rodgers decides not to stay where they're already at. So I wanted to touch base on that. But Tom Brady, he retired. And if he don't, I'll look like a fool on here talking about it. Indeed. Shut up, Lopan, man. I mean, calm down, Lopan. You had to agree with me on there. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. But you're listening or you're watching the Wait a Minute Show on YouTube, on the waitaminuteshow.com as well. Make sure you go out there. I didn't say this earlier. Make sure you go out there. If you are not already, subscribe. Make sure you like. Make sure you comment. And also make sure you turn on that notification so you always get a notification of when this show goes live. So you can jump in here and chat it up with other Wait a Minute Show listeners and watchers, but also chat it up with your boy. And Country Road says, and I'm going to go to the chat room now. Got my ears on, headed to a dinner party for Laffy T, but we in here. Dance, Laffy, dance, Laffy, dance, Laffy. Shouts out to Country Road and Laffy T. Enjoy that dinner. Mocha Bella saying, congratulations, Lopan. Lopan doesn't even do anything around here that much, Mocha. But I'm going to get into Lopan a little bit later. You know what? I'm not going to be a hater. Congratulations, Lopan, on 200 episodes. Indeed. Yeah, thank you. So let me get back. We got some games tomorrow on Sunday. AFC Championship game and the NFC Championship game. So first game that's going to be going down is going to be the AFC Championship, where I guess you could say underdogs, or maybe a little surprising that the Cincinnati Bengals is going to be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. And I can say I'm a little surprised, with this team, but it's always, that's the great thing about the playoffs when it comes to the NFL. It's not how you finish, it's what you're doing in the playoffs. Because everything literally changes. We have seen that last year with the Buccaneers going on the road to win. We've seen it with Eli with the Giants going on the road and winning to go to the Super Bowl. So anything is possible. But Cincinnati has caught fire at the right time. Joe Burrow, again, I'm going to say I got egg on my face because Joe Burrow is the truth. I was in here talking crazy about Tua should have been, first overall because he was mobile and all that stuff. I was wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, man, just because we're on episode 200, that don't mean you need to, start talking a little bit more, Lopan. But I'm sorry. But yeah, indeed, you're right, Lopan. But Joe Burrow has been the difference maker for, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, let me just say that. But they have been the difference maker for this team. Joe Mixon had a great year. Then you got the nucleus of that wide receiver group in Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins. And then a lot of people aren't talking about C.J. Umanzara. I'm hoping I'm saying his name right. But he is a very, very good tight end. Now, they got offensive line, problems. We saw that with the 9 sacks against Tennessee. But there's something to be said about a quarterback who can overcome those things that's set before them, and that's Joe Burrow. He doesn't get rattled. He's calm, cool, collective, and that does something for your team. That gives them the confidence. That puts them in a safe mode, if you will. Kind of like Tom Brady, like a Aaron Rodgers. They just believe that he's going to figure out a way, and they don't want to let him down. Now, who they're going up against, that's not an easy task. Not an easy task at all. Kansas City, where I was talking about them earlier, I was saying early in the season that they're not just the favorites like they were to go back to the Super Bowl, but they are a team that you definitely have to take serious, and you can't take lightly. They struggled at the beginning, but they figured it out. And that's what they've always done. League caught up with them. And this is a great thing about the Kansas City Chiefs. The league caught up with them as far as like all that stuff that they were doing. And it wasn't working anymore. And then people start questioning whether or not Kansas City is done. And I didn't think they were done. I would just think that the league caught up with them. But they adapted. And one of the things that they did was with Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes like, look, I can't go gangster and go Tecmo Bowl on every play. Let me take what the defense gives me. I got all the pieces that I need. We'll just dink and dunk if we want to, if we need to. And then at some point, I'm going to hit them over the head down the field. And that's exactly what they've done. And they've done well with guys coming in. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he got hurt. You got guys like Jared McKinnon that has stepped up. Holmes has stepped up. Pringle has stepped up. Miko has done some things, on this offense. But the defense is, has also been doing pretty well. This what's the rookie linebacker? I think his name is Holton. If I remember right, Nick Holton. He stepped in out of Missouri, and he's given this team life. A lot of people talk about Michael Parson and some other, but he doesn't get the pub like he does. But he is a big part of why that defense is a bend but don't break to a certain degree for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I like this matchup. It's going to be entertaining. I think there's going to be a little going back and forth, but I think in the fourth quarter, that experience is going to take over. And I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning tomorrow. So they'll go back to the Super Bowl once again. And we'll just be sitting, how, Sway? How are they doing this? They continue to do this. So they'll be back in the Super Bowl. That's my prediction. Shouts out to my man Taryn Rodriguez. You got to say it like that when you're talking about Taryn, who's in the Wait a Minute show chat room, and he said, what did he say? Hey, good evening, everybody. Let's see. He say, he's talking about who he got. Now he got the Chiefs in the big bowl, and we're gonna go into this Rams versus 49ers right now. And this is the third round. This is matchup number 3 this year because they're divisional opponents. And can the 49ers complete the trifecta? They've had the Rams number twice this year. And it recently was just a 17-point deficit that they came back to get into the playoffs. So, that wears in a team's head. Make some, maybe question themselves to a certain degree. Rams, they're all in. They literally have all our draft picks. We are all in for this year. We are paying folks. We are doing whatever it is that we need to do because we are trying to win this year. 49ers, it's like, which Jimmy G are you going to get? He's had, not the greatest games. Let's just say that. But overall, as a team, they've collectively overcome all challenges that they've had. It's not just Jimmy G. Kyle Shanahan has done an excellent job, as he always does with the run game, of putting in guys that can produce. Defense, Bosa, Fred Warner. It's a bunch of guys that's on that defense for San Francisco because they play man and they just rush the four because a lot of them been getting home. Armstead is on this team. So, yeah, the Rams got a lot, to worry about. And I think the Rams, though, they have something to prove, especially this last game when who was that against the Bucs? Because how that ended, I'm sure that they definitely didn't want it to end that way. But Jalen Ramsey getting beat now, don't get me wrong, it's Mike Evans. Mike Evans ain't no joke. But the way that Jalen Ramsey got beat, Jalen Ramsey's going to be thinking about that like nobody's going to be doing me like that again. Aaron Donald, we know he'll probably fight, probably about 3 or 4 offensive linemen, so he'll get his quota in, and then he'll be ready to go. But Von Miller, all those guys that's on defense that they have invested in, I think they're going to be salivating at the mouth. And here's why. I talked about this with Buffalo and New England and how that first game that Buffalo played against New England, where New England only threw 3 passes. So they ran all over the Buffalo Bills. divisional opponent. They remember that. They were thoroughly embarrassed. The Rams, you lost twice. You gave up a big lead. You were embarrassed. And I think every guy that's on that Rams team is saying that's not going to happen tomorrow. They got us before, but we're not going to let that happen because we're tired of it. So I'm going to go with the Rams on this one. Partially because of that, and I got a little bias. And it's right here on the top of my head, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am rooting for Matthew Stafford because it proves my point of what I've been saying about this man since he got into the league, is that he cannot do it all by himself. But if you supply him with quality talent and a quality coaching staff from the top to the bottom and a quality organizational decisions, you see what you get. It's not on Matthew Stafford to put it all on his back and then go out there and start that gunslinger mentality, because I've said that gets him in trouble. And then he's, throwing the ball all over the place. Then he's throwing interceptions and everything. And, we're talking about Matthew Stafford, in a different light. But he is a difference maker on this team. Odell Beckham, you ain't heard nothing from Odell Beckham like you were hearing when he was in Cleveland. I'm telling you, they are focused, and they are like, we are not going to let that happen. I believe this game is going to go down to the wire. I think it's going to go down to another field goal. Matthew Stafford driving down the field. They got Cam Akers. That's the other thing. They did not have Cam Akers those first two games. Cam Akers is a beast. He's a problem. And he's not even fully healthy or in football shape. So with the running game, it's going to be a clash. It's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be another field goal, but I got the Rams winning that. And then we got a Kansas City versus LA Rams Super Bowl. Those are my pick. I don't know who Lopan picked. Maybe he'll just agree with me. Indeed. Yeah, I figured you would. But those are my picks for the AFC and NFC championship game, ladies and gentlemen. So let me jump into the Wait a Minute Show chat room as well. Let me see what we got in here. Ben from BS3 Network says, happy 200, Jelani. Hey, I appreciate that, Ben. It's amazing. 200. We just start rolling. We saw 100, and I never thought, I would get to 200. 200, but 200 it is. What else we got in here? Let's see. I love it. All the listeners sending love to each other. So keep chatting it up. Keep talking in the chat room. So watch the game tomorrow. Hopefully we do have really two good games. We got a plethora of games last week. I don't want anything to be a blowout. We don't, but I'm sure the other team would like for that to happen. But now I mentioned the Buffalo Bills, and I'm going to go back with them, and I mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs. I got to talk about it this past week, ladies and gentlemen. As you see, this game right here has sparked a little controversy. Well, not controversy, but a little bit of a debate. It sparked some debate when it comes to the overtime rule. So we had a great game. Back and forth, fourth and back, Aaliyah style, where it was literally who had last possession was going to win this game. But we got a tie game with whoever had last possession. And then we went into overtime. And overtime rules are the team with the first possession, if they score a touchdown, game is over. Now, if they score a field goal or something like that, they don't score, we keep playing, right? Until someone scores. That changed to that because of another situation where teams were going down the field and they were kicking field goals, winning in overtime, and then teams were like, we didn't even have opportunity to get the ball. So they said, the NFL said, we're going to change it. You got to score a touchdown then. You got to score a touchdown. Everybody agreed to it. And they said, all right, now playoff game to the AFC Championship is on the line. And now people are talking different again. They want Buffalo to have had an opportunity to tie it up again. And they could have tied it up and we would have had this great game. So I get it. I understand it. But this has been the NFL. It's been reactive instead of proactive when it came to stuff like this. I don't have a problem with if they decided to do that. Not at all. I don't have a problem at all if they said, give the other team. I actually do think that's fair. All I'm saying is that, you know what? If you are thinking about this, if you are contemplating this, cover all options, cover all possibilities, cover everything. So we're not talking about this thing again. Yes, look, he's tying up the game. And then they go down and look, really, if someone is looking for someone to blame, and I'm not blaming anybody because it was just great plays that they made. But if you're trying to blame somebody, giving up that much yards in 13 seconds is just you can't do it. It's not even feasible. It's not even something that you would really think is possible. But it happened. Had that not happened, things might have been different. And we're not even talking about this. But it did. So give the other team the opportunity. If they score a touchdown, regardless, give the other team at least one possession, and then we'll settle this in a great manner. So that's all I got. So we'll see what the NFL does. I think they will look at it at the owners' meeting. Because some games could change in the regular season, on that. Or maybe they just do it for, the playoffs. They could do a trial and error. I wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like them to do something for just the playoffs and not for the regular season. But I'm not going to be one of those folks that be like, no, man, it shouldn't be. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. That was a great game. It was unfortunate, though, that Buffalo didn't get an opportunity. So, overtime. So you listen to the Wait a Minute Show, the 200th episode of the Wait a Minute Show. And what we're going to do, and not for the 200th time, but we're going to take a break. And then when we come back from the break, I got something for y'all. And then we get into a little basketball news as well. And we'll keep going. And do not go anywhere. Make sure you stay to the end of the show because I'm handing out a Big L award. I am handing out a Big Loser award. And I may have to go under witness protection after I do it. That's how dangerous this thing is. And me and Lopan is ready to do that. We're ready to take on whatever comes. Right, Lopan? I say we ready to take on whatever comes our way from this Big L award. Right, Lopan? Wow. Okay. All right. Every man for himself, huh? Every man for himself. Look, we'll be back after these words, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Keith T. Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkincolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkincolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drinking Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event. Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices.
everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott the owner at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go on Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and you are listening to
It's the Wait a Minute Show.
200 episode getting put into the books, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and first thing I'm going to bring up, some of you sent some videos giving some shout outs to me for this 200 episode. So I'm going to let you know right now. Normally, you know, how this show goes is you know, it's pretty PG, you know, but there's a little R-rated stuff coming up. So I'm going to give you a warning, but ladies and gentlemen, none other than the Chief Rocker, Jersey Vern.
Yeah. Hey, Jelani. Happy 200th anniversary, man. You know what's so funny about all this, Jelani, is that you are a sportscaster, podcaster, and you bring a lot of energy to the game. And I'm surprised you ain't been had 200 shows, man. But what it is, Jelani do one show a week, which ain't bad, you know. And if he missed that one night, that means his time don't get recorded as doing a show. But I believe that, you know, you have a lot ahead of you. I see you doing video now, YouTube. Keep doing your thing, bro. Young podcaster coming up, man. Yeah, I said too young. You ain't older than me, goddammit. But anyway, Jelani, what's also amazing and funny about you is, right? You moved here to Atlanta from the Michigan area, right? You are a Detroit Lion fan. Then you came down here and adopted the Atlanta Falcons. And now you are a Falcon fan. And neither one of them goddamn teams did shit throughout their history. And you got to talk about these two sorry motherfucking teams. That's the funny part about it, man. The college team finally got over the hump this year. Them Wolverines, you know what I'm saying? And beat my Buckeyes. But they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs. Because that performance they had there, Jelani, we got to talk about this, Jelani. You got to put me on the show, man, so we can talk about this, all right? I have a lot to say. But anyway, bro, congratulate 200 shows, man. That's a big mark right there, man. And you'll be catching up to me if I don't get back to doing those shows. But, you know, Chief Rock will be back big and better as soon as I get my situation together. But anyway, man, enjoy your 200s, man. I'm glad to be able to address you on this. And keep doing what you're doing. Until, what's your name? Slow Pan? Blow Pan? Low Pan. Tell him T-Rock said what's up. This is number 1 Chief Rocker, Jersey Burn, the Master Blaster. Built for this network. Check it out. Congratulations. 200. Jelani. I said Giovanni. Oh, Jelani.
So, Chief Rocker, Jersey Vern, man, appreciate it. He always give me a hard time, so it was always from a good place. So appreciate you for kicking that out there. And speaking of kicking, shouts out to my man Kesey, kicking it with Kesey, who dropped into the Wait a Minute Show chat room as well. So let's get back to talking some sports. Basketball. Ben Simmons. Let's get into this Ben Simmons talk. Ben Simmons, just recently, the news was that the Sacramento Kings, who were interested in Ben Simmons, have pulled out of trade talks and basically just said, you know what, we're gonna go an alternate route. We're gonna go somewhere else with trying to improve our team. And that's all I've been hearing, when it comes to Ben Simmons. And they're rumors, but the Atlanta Hawks was in there at one point. It was somebody else. I don't know why. I want to say the Miami Heat. I might be wrong about that, but it was a couple other teams that were in trade discussions, for Ben Simmons. And I bring all this up because this just what I was saying earlier, before during the offseason. And literally days after that playoff game against the Atlanta Hawks, is that he cannot be in Philadelphia, right? He has to go somewhere else. You have to try and make a deal for him as soon as possible, because the longer that you wait, this situation has happened. People are going to offer less because now this thing has gotten ugly, where Ben Simmons now is saying, if he's not traded, he's not even showing up after, the trade deadline. So if he has a year that he sits completely out, and they're at odds. There's different reasons as far as like what they're at odds for. But this should have been done during the offseason. Because right now, as far as like where the Sixers, I think they're top 5. I think they're 5, or they might be 6. But they're only behind like maybe 3 or 4 games out of first place. And I talked about this on a previous show, that they needed to make a decision who they were going to run this offense to, whether it was going to be Embiid or Ben Simmons. I said it should have been Embiid, and Embiid is out here balling, and I just look at it as, boy, what else maybe the Philadelphia 76ers could be doing right now had they had traded Ben Simmons. Who else would you have had on this team? Who else, maybe you could have got to contribute right now, and they would have been in, well, they still are, but they would have been in contention or higher contention, to make the NBA Finals. And the longer you wait, if you don't get him traded before the deadline, I think you're really going to be because teams are looking at this. They're just like, they are not going to give you, if they haven't given you, what you wanted to this point from that Hawks. Trust me, general managers and everything started calling way early into this process to talk to the Philadelphia 76ers. Trust. And if we're almost into February and you haven't moved this guy yet, there's no team that's really going to just give up the farm for Ben Simmons at this point. There's no point. Could he go to another team and be, Andrew Wiggins? Look at Andrew Wiggins. I'm not going to say he's going to be that because he's already been to the All-Star, game and everything. But I'm just saying, get everything, put pieces together and all that stuff and put all this stuff behind him. I don't know if he's going to be able, to do that or not for another team. But the longer you have kept this guy, I just think the lower the bar was set as far as like what people are going to offer. And you could have had pieces at the beginning of the year, ran this whole thing through Embiid, and maybe, you got a few extra wins here and there, and you're right up there with the Miami Heat in the first or second. Well, Miami's in first place right now, but first, second, or maybe even third place. So the Ben Simmons thing, it's ugly, and I look at it. I guess it only can get better at this point, because I think it can't drop any further. So shouts out to D Brown out there. I see you. Appreciate you for joining in to the 200 episode. But yeah, Ben Simmons should have been traded a long time ago. And I don't know all the ins and outs. Maybe some teams he was just like, nah, I'm not going there, and it's going to be a problem. Those are rumors. But rumors, that's what we do, I guess. There's another rumor out there, and it involves the Philadelphia 76ers and a little bit of the Brooklyn Nets. And that's James Harden. James Harden rumored that the 76ers want James Harden. I think they tried to make a deal. Yeah, they did. Maybe that was the third team I was trying to think about. They did try and make a deal, Ben Simmons to go to Brooklyn. And at this point, now there's these rumors about that maybe the 76ers are going to try and hold out and get James Harden next year or next season because he hasn't signed his new extension deal, which I don't think the reason that he hasn't signed it is that he wants out of Brooklyn. I believe that James Harden, just like Chris Paul and other basketball players, is that when you're further along into your career, and yeah, you got that 1 year where that lump sum is amazing, but you want to try and maximize your last contract before you probably start taking a pay cut, to be on teams. And so I think this is what this is really about for James Harden, more than just saying, I don't want to be in, Brooklyn. I don't think it's a reason that he wouldn't want to play with KD and play with Kyrie. But if they don't have if he don't feel that they have a realistic shot and he think playing with Embiid is, a little bit better, yeah, I can understand that, and I know people hate it, but this is what it is. So could James Harden end up in Philadelphia? I'm going to say no. I think he'll still stay in Brooklyn and they'll get a deal done. And to me, I think if Brooklyn was going to move off anybody or try and work something out, I think they want James Harden to stay and they would trade Kyrie. Wouldn't want to, but I think if they had to, if it was between Kyrie and James Harden, I think they probably would, lean towards keeping James Harden. I give it a small possibility he ends up, in Philadelphia. But that would be a heck of a combo with Embiid and James Harden. I think Embiid would be James Harden's best big man that he's ever played with. Because I don't count KD as a big man. He's tall, but he's not a big man. He's a X. He's just, you don't find somebody like KD just on the street or in a gym somewhere. He is rare. So yeah, I don't believe it. I don't think he ends up there. Mocha Bella says, Ben Simmons, you can come down to South Beach. Hey, now if he goes to South Beach, okay, I think he would love it there, not just because of the city. I think he would love the culture. He wouldn't have a choice. Pat Riley don't play around. Eric Spoelstra don't play around with that. And he would be another piece. And now, I don't know how him and Jimmy Butler worked out. They could have worked out great. They could have not. But, yeah, if he went to Miami, it's just what I've been saying. I think Ben Simmons can help every team. It's just Philadelphia, for their asking price, they're not going to get it. Nobody's going to get it. I mean, nobody's going to give that up. So let's move on and keep talking. Basketball a little bit later, but a little bit of baseball news real quick. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens. We saw that they are now off the Hall of Fame ballot. And I'm just going to say this. Are you surprised? They were not going to let those guys in. There were too many people that were influenced or influential in that decision that, was around that time and everything. You didn't have like this new genre, this new breed, of people that vote on a Hall of Fame. You had people that was old school. Now, I will say this, though, is that it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black, though, because nobody was saying anything while it was going on, and you can't tell me that these guys just did a heck of a job of hiding it. Somebody knew. Somebody that, maybe not somebody that did the voting, but they knew somebody that told them what these guys were doing. And nobody said anything then. And then once when it came out, it seemed like everybody wanted to, be like, these guys, make them the poster child, for it. And a lot of people made, the comment about Barry Bonds had a Hall of Fame career before the, alleged steroid use. I think Roger Clemens, had it. So if they did do this, it's just that it enhanced what they already had accomplished. And you got other guys that's in there. So I just don't get why, and I, you know what? They wanted them to admit it, and they were like, nah, we're not admitting it. So then they was like, all right, since you're not going to admit it, we're going to go ahead and, and just keep you out. Barry Bonds want to get in and all that stuff, but Barry Bonds ain't he ain't finna lose no sleep like that on it. But I look at it the same way as Reggie Bush when they took away the Heisman. We still saw all the stuff that they did. So the performance that they put together is Hall of Fame, worthy. They probably never will ever be in it, but no one's going to act like they didn't see Barry Bonds home runs and what he did with the Pittsburgh Pirates and everything before he went to San Francisco. Nobody's going to not act like they didn't see what Roger Clemens did with Boston and the Yankees, and all that. You can't forget that stuff. So, yeah, at this point, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Shouts out to Doc Bell, ABM, aka Angry Black Man, that's in here. Appreciate you for joining in. Let's see what Doc's saying. He said they let Ortiz in and he's used. Baseball hypocrisy is obvious. So that is ABM giving his input. Appreciate you for putting in. He also says we don't want Ben Simmons. You can't hide a guy that can't/won't shoot and has no heart. That will be a problem because I'm telling you, Pat Riley, he'll come down from that. He'll be like, watch out, Eric. I got this. So you can't play for. I know it's not Pat Riley coaching, but Pat Riley set that culture, and Eric Spoelstra, definitely holds it down as well. You can't come in there, half stepping. So he's absolutely right, about that. So maybe Miami isn't the place for Ben Simmons. I could be wrong. But what I'm not wrong about is the Wait a Minute Show and 200 episode that we are kicking. So one other thing, I got another thing I want to point out, but I talked about, kind of how the Wait a Minute Show got started and, where it started. And now we at this 200 episode. But a lot of people ask me about Lopan. And they're like, how did y'all hook up? How did this team, assemble? Well, I'll tell you, I've never told anybody this, but because it's a special episode, I'm going to do it. So I was out and about, minding my business, and I decided, I said, you know what? I want to see what Foot Locker got. I'm going to check out, some new kicks or whatever. Maybe I'll pick up something new and everything. So I'm up in there, and it's this dude. And I'm like, yo, my man, you got them J's, in 11. And he's like, indeed. I said, oh, word? Okay, all right. I said, let me get those, right? So then, I'm putting on the shoes and everything. We chopping it up and all this stuff. And the manager comes out. And the manager says, hey, what are you doing, bruh? And I'm like, I'm trying on shoes, sir. He was like, I'm not talking to you. You, what are you doing with them shoes? You don't work here. And I'm like, bruh, like, you don't work here. What are you doing, man? And him and the manager, they beefing, and Lopan talking about, I'm trying to help you out and make a sale and all that stuff. And I'm just trying to do my civic duty. And so I got in between it and I broke, I said, yo, y'all calm down. Look, he's right. He was trying to get you, a sale and everything. It wasn't like he ran out, but I'm like, bruh, you are tripping. You don't work here. And you are getting people's shoes. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And he was just like, man, you came in and I felt the positive energy. So, I was just like, yo, this dude seemed mad cool. And I was like, well, you seem mad cool too. And then we started talking about sports. And then after that, man, it was just crazy. We sat outside of Foot Locker, talked for like another hour or whatever, and then linked up. And then next thing I know, it became me and Lopan. And he just always feeling. Indeed. Yeah. So that is how me and Lopan, met up. I don't know how this stuff happens to me, but it's worked 200 times. on this show, even more, because we've been on X Squad Radio Network. So we probably really got about 300, shows in the books. But for here, yeah, 200 times. So that's how me and Lopan met, if anyone is wondering. So what we're going to do, we're going to take another break. We'll come back from the break. We get into some coach talk. Jump back into the NFL. So don't go anywhere. 200 episode. I got a big loser award that I'm handing out. And I may need to be in the witness protection program at the end of this show. That's how deadly this thing is. So don't go anywhere, because I may need to lay low at one of y'all houses over the weekend. We'll be back after these words.
Do you want your next Atlanta event to be memorable? If so, have Drinking Color at your next function. Drinking Color is sophisticated bartending that creates signature cocktails for your special occasion. Wow your family, friends, and business associates next time with Drinking Color. You can contact the owner, Kiki Lewis, at 678-813-7102. That's 678-813-7102. You can also email her at drinkincolor@gmail.com and follow on Instagram at drinkincolor. And tell her you were referred by the Wait a Minute Show. Drinking Color, cocktail catering. Let the cocktail sparkle at your next event.
Do you like making an impression? Who doesn't? Well, when you want to dress to impress for less, check out Rail Scott at Prime Ties to Go on Facebook and Instagram. Quality accessories for men and women at low, counted low prices. Everything from ties, bow ties, watches, bracelet, earrings to pocketbooks. Don't miss out. Check out Rail Scott, the owner, at Prime Ties to Go. That's Prime Ties, the number 2, Go, on Facebook and Instagram.
He's the brain of operations.
I'm telling you right now, book it!
And him, he's along for the ride. But together, they bring you sports like you've never heard before. The Wait a Minute Show, a new way of discussing today's trending sports topics. And now, back to the show with your host, Jolani J.B. Bodie.
Indeed, Lopan. Indeed. So, what should we talked about how I met Lopan. We talked about how this thing started. Make sure 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, like we always do on a Saturday, go to YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you'll know when an episode kicks off, and you can join in and hang out with your boy. So, but before we get into any other stuff, I got another video for y'all that I want y'all to watch. So check this out from the home girl from X Squad, Mocha Bella.
Hey Jelani, it's Mocha Bella. I just want to say congratulations on your 200th episode of the Wait a Minute Show. Thank you for bringing us your sports knowledge every week, and thank you for entertaining us with your sports and also bringing Lopan on board. My favorite memory of the Wait a Minute Show is when you announced that you're doing the annual Christmas toy drive for the kids. It's a big honor, especially to help you get the kids presents and make it their holiday special. That's one thing I always remember, that every time you announce it, I know you have a big smile on your face knowing that you're helping kids in the Georgia area. Thank you. Much appreciate you. Big ups for bringing us your sports knowledge every week, and also being a part of the X Squad Radio Network. You are truly a great gentleman, not only to us in the X Squad Radio Network, but also to the listeners and also to the podcasters that you entertain. Major big ups on reaching this milestone, and may you have more and more success in the podcast game. I'm so glad that you reached this milestone, and I'll be continue listening every week, and I'll continue enjoying your show. Thank you for blessing us with your sports show. The Wait a Minute show is a great show, and I just wish you major more success. Thank you, and big ups, big ups. Bye.
Hey, I appreciate that, Mocha. I appreciate that so much because Mocha always got my back on stuff. She always sharing the show. She always big up in me. So I appreciate that big time. And normally this show goes for an hour, but because this is a 200 episode, we're going to run a little bit into overtime. So we good to go. And during one of Doug Stewart's why am I drawing a blank right now? But he has a meet and greet every year. And I finally got to meet Mocha because Mocha doesn't live in Georgia. And it was awesome because we got a chance to sit down. We got a chance to talk, chop it up. And it was, it was just nice to meet the person that showed me so much love because I had never met her before. Never met her. And for someone to do that for me, that's big. That's major, So I appreciate you because she always pushes the toy drive as well. And the toy drive, man, everybody know how important and how much that means to me and how much energy that I put into that toy drive. So appreciate you, Mocha, as well. We'll get back to some sports talk because I'm trying to figure out my exit strategy just in case if I got to get out of here after this Big L award. But because Lopan's not going to help me. Indeed. Okay. All right. That's all right. Long as I'm faster than you, Lopan, that's all that matters. Okay. You just remember that. So, coaching news in the NFL. We got some hires. So, Denver has found their coach, and the Giants have found their coach, and both are former offensive coordinators. So Denver hired former offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers, Nathaniel Hackett, and the Giants hired former offensive coordinator Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills. No surprise there because look at the quarterbacks that they had. And look at the success, that they had. So obviously they're wanting that to be a repeat. So with Nathaniel Hackett, Denver has already said they didn't get him because hoping that, Aaron Rodgers would show up. So don't even believe that. Don't even think into that. Don't, even fall for that trap. So I'm like, cool. I wasn't anyway. I just think with his challenges is can he get the output, can he get the production that he was getting in Green Bay from the current quarterback class, the room that he has. He got Teddy Bridgewater. He got the kid from Missouri. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry. They were going back and forth. Drew, the kid Drew. And I don't know if either one of them will, be the answer, especially with a new coach, coming in. But you got a talented, offensive roster, with Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. And you got a backfield. Melvin Gordon might be back, but it looked like they may just go ahead and give the reins to Javonte Williams. And I do think, he will take over. You got Noah Fant. So you got some pieces there where you can do some things on the offensive side. They got a nice defense as well, for Denver. So, but the main thing is the quarterback. You're going to have something. So can he get that same production? Because, look, nobody is Aaron Rodgers. And I've said this. Aaron Rodgers masked a lot of stuff, that we don't get to see because somebody made a mistake or he, threw somebody open and all that stuff. So that's going to be the challenge. But he's walking into, at least good offensive situation as far as like the pieces that surround the quarterback. The Giants, Dabo, look, Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying, though, is Josh Allen and Daniel Jones share, a similarity as far as like the mobility where they do utilize their foot more often. Daniel Jones hasn't been, as consistent with passing the ball and his turnovers, but the owner went out there and already said it. Mayor said that look, we've done everything to ruin this kid. So they're looking at bringing, Dabo in, get Daniel right. But again, now their situation a little bit different though. In New York, is that they got my guy Kenny Galladay, but unfortunately Kenny Galladay ran into the problems that he ran into in Detroit, and that was injuries. That's been his bugaboo for anything in his career. It's been the injuries. Saquon Barkley, he got hurt again. So if you can keep those guys healthy, you got the kid Tony that was a rookie. He came out and had some really good games, so they're expecting some big things from him the following year or the next year that they're going to be in. So if they got everybody healthy, yeah, they might can do some things. But I think they're further away than what the Denver Broncos is. But offensive, guy that just had success with a quarterback that's kind of like Daniel Jones. Now again, I'm not comparing him and saying he's Josh Allen, but similar as far as like how their style is. This is going to be, someone that probably plays out, and both of them offensive coordinators. They, offensive minded. So I think that's why they went. So they got some challenges, ahead of them though to make some improvements. But those are two that's off the board. Let's see. Let me go back to the Wait a Minute Show chat room. My man E Double that is in the chat room. He said congratulations. Doc, Angry Black Man, said Hackett had nothing to do with Rodgers' success. He is just benefiting off the association. I'm gonna put that up there, right there. So basically, man, are you calling him Christian Laettner on the Dream Team? Just saying, look, man, he was along for the ride, man. Oh, man, come on now. Come on, ABM. Don't do him like that now. I mean, he had to call some plays, right? Do something, maybe a little bit. But it's all right. It's all right. I get what you're saying. They say he was along for the ride. Wow. But coaching. So now that those two positions are filled, you got what, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, you got 6 coaching vacancies that's out there, and of those 6, what is probably the most attractive or appealing? You got Houston, New Orleans, Miami, Minnesota, Jacksonville, and Las Vegas. So I'll go ahead and cross out Houston because it's just like you got a coach that you brought in, gave him a poo-poo situation, and he performed poo-poo, and now you want to move on from him. It's just like, did he lose the locker room? I don't. Probably most people would have in a poo-poo situation, that he was in. Give him a chance to try and make it right. Indeed. Thank you, Lopan. New Orleans. I'm going to put New Orleans out because, look, Drew Brees got out of there. Then Sean Payton said, well, I'm gone too. So that offensive mastermind and all that stuff of getting those players open and all that stuff is gone, okay? But you know what's not gone? That debt, that money that they owe, they $74 million over the cap. So that ain't going nowhere. So now you got to get underneath the cap. And how do you get underneath the cap? You start having to get rid of some of your good players, all right? And then everything's going to fall. I think Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston will be there, but it won't be the same situation for them because they won't have, the what they've learned, over these last few years with Sean Payton there and Drew Brees. So I'm going to cross out New Orleans. Miami is interesting. I'll say Minnesota is interesting. Jacksonville is a process. You do have Trevor Lawrence. You don't know what you got because Urban Meyer was there and wasn't able to show, any type of promise yet. And I'm not saying that he doesn't, but just all the stuff that was going on with Urban Meyer, how, not a play on words, but mired the situation. And then you got the Las Vegas, Raiders. So of those 3, Miami, Minnesota, and Las Vegas, I'm going to go ahead and take Minnesota out of it. The reason I'm going to say that is that we don't know about Kirk Cousins. Is Kirk Cousins going to, re-up? You got Justin Jefferson. Don't get me wrong. You got Dalvin Cook. You got, all situation. But that defense is, they're starting over with that defense. That defense that was, just, they were a tear on people. That's not there anymore. So they're still going to be running into problems, where trying to slow people down. I don't know if you got someone that can come in and make that turnaround, or make that turnaround as fast as you want. So that leaves Las Vegas and Miami. It's just Las Vegas, man. It's just with the Raiders, they've shown this promise, and they found a way, to not necessarily finish, what they started. And some of it is just, not their fault. Some of it is. It's just, it's not bad. It's not horrible, I should say. But it just seems like something always happens. So I'm going to say probably Miami. Tua, what can they do with Tua? Is he still, healthy? But Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker, you got Penn State tight end. Why am I forgetting names right now? But you got Jalen Waddle, you got Devontae Parker on this team. They got to get a running game, though. But location, the nucleus of the team, the defense is pretty good. And they look like they were having some success under Flores. So I think, a coach might want to take over that situation. So probably out of all of those, I would say, I would probably say the Miami Dolphins. Angry Black Man also says, preach on Saints cap problem. Yeah. What Kevin Hart say? The way my bank account is set up? Yeah. The way their bank account is set up right now? It's going to be tough, to be like, hey, man, come on down to the, the Big Easy. And no, because ain't nothing easy right now, partner, down there. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. He also says Vegas, Miami, Minnesota, in order of most attractive jobs. So he got Vegas as number 1, Miami is 2, and Minnesota is 3. So I would probably flip-flop. I am going to flip-flop because I had Miami, but I'll say Vegas and then I'll say Minnesota. So we're kind of on the same page there. Now, last thing we're going to talk about before I start packing my stuff up and get out of here is, literally, because I may have to make a mad dash. Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer was talking about, being in Jacksonville was the worst experience. And I'm not here to bash Urban Meyer, but I am here to point out, this unfortunately, college coaches that have a lot of success and then they come to the pros, they have experienced this. And it's that, and I think the biggest thing about it, where you have someone like a Steve Spurrier, or you have the guy that quit on the Falcons. I'm glad I don't even want to say his name. He ended up leaving the Falcons and went to the Arizona Razorbacks. I don't even like saying his name. I know it now, but I'm not going to say it. You got Kelly, Chip Kelly. The thing, and Jimmy Johnson made it work. But the thing is that these coaches, they have so much control and they have so much power, on everything. And when you can't shift it and move it like you want, and people just don't follow suit because you're dealing with kids versus grown men, and also look, these cities that they're in, they got these boosters and all this stuff and everybody's going crazy, you're not working in the same environment. So you've had that success, and the way that you've done it, you want to try and continue that to a certain degree. Some of them have just tried to roll it, what they did in college over into the pros. And then they find out the hard way that just don't work, on it. So yeah, I'm sure it is the worst experience that he's had because he never lost like that, in anywhere. I think he was at Bowling Green, then he went to Utah, and then he went to Florida. So yeah, all those places he did well. He improved and turned things around. And when you see things not turning around, but also you're under criticism, then yeah, people, It's not great. It's not great when people are questioning you. Yeah, I see you out there, angry black man, about who you put in BP. Yeah, I don't like saying his name because I just think you finish the job. You don't leave in the middle of the season. I don't care. I don't care what the situation is. So let me go ahead, get off that. Last thing we're going to play here is the last video, and that is from my man Vince Wright, the governor.
Hey, what's happening, brother Jelani? 200 episodes, man. This is Vince Wright, the sports governor from Minnesota. So happy for you, so proud of you, man. Love what you do, the toy drives. I mean, the Wait a Minute show is just phenomenal. So congratulations from the very cold state of Minnesota, my brother. We are very happy and proud of what you have done with your show. And Lopan, you too, brother. Yes, indeed.
So appreciate Vince Wright. Also, I've never met Vince Wright in person, but see, this is the impact, of podcasting and everything. So shouts out to Vince Wright as well. Appreciate the love. So we're going to do the Big L Award here in just a moment. So I want to tell you the last thing I want to say, about the Big L Award. People are like, Big Loser Award. How did you come up with that? So I got to thank someone, and it's Lorenzo Ketchum. And a lot of people know him on social media, especially in X Squad Radio Network. And I appreciate Lorenzo because he goes by the name of Big L. And he will always be battling with Lopan. And they would be going back and forth. And he telling Lopan, I'm going to fly to Atlanta because he live in Arkansas. I'm going to fly to Atlanta and we going to throw them hands, and all that stuff. And him and Lopan go back and forth all the time, right? And so one day Lopan was, going back, and he said, Big L stands for Big Loser. And of course that didn't, but it just took off after that. And it just, it gained, traction and everything. But I want to say thank you to Lorenzo, man, because he just let us run with it, and he let us have fun with it. And that's exactly what we do. We have fun with it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Big L Award. And I'm going to give out the Big Loser Award. There go my bags right there. So, hey, I'm a parent, right? I'm a parent. Y'all are parents out there. And the one thing, even before I was a parent, I don't tell other people how to parent their kids, okay? And so definitely when I became a parent, I was like, I get it. You trying to figure this thing out. You're trying to do things, the right way. But also people trying to tell you stuff, and you just like, don't tell me how to raise my kid. Don't do this. Don't do that, right? So I'm not the one that be trying to tell people how to raise their kid or what to do and all that stuff as a parent. But I can't hold it this time. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Loser Award is going to someone who's just not right, just dirty, just should be ashamed of themselves for what they did and what they put their kid through. I could not sit here and let this ride. And I said, I am going to put my life on the line on this 200 episode for you. And you, Lopan, since you were not helping me. But the Big L Award is going to none other than Monet Tejada. Monet Tejada, how dare you tell your son he is 19 when that joker is 23. You have got to be out your mind if you thought you were going to get through his entire life without nobody finding out. But no, because you think you got it all together and you think you can figure everything out or whatever, that nobody's going to find out. Well, you had one that's just as smart as you, Monet. And she exposed you, your own daughter, your own little Monet. Because you was out there living dirty, being dirty, and all that stuff. And now this brother got to go around and try and figure out what happened and where them 4 years that he lost from his life because he's 23. No wonder he's better than everybody at college playing basketball. Then the other thing I asked was his terrible twos. He was 6. So how was he able to have terrible twos at 6, Monet? Answer me that, Monet. How, Monet? How? Yeah, we looking at you. How, Monet? Come on, man. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pack my bags and I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. But the Big L Award goes out to Monet Tejada for telling her kid he's 19 when that joker is really 23. You got to take this Big L.
See? Another loser.
Kick the music, Lopan. Indeed as well. Woo! 200. Woo! Shame on you, Monet. Shame on you. You got that brother rolling around, thinking you his aunt, and he's 19. No one added that up. Was it just me? No one added that up? Kane right there on his hip. Come on, man. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 200. Episode 200. I want to thank Mocha Bella. I want to thank E-Double. I want to thank Angry Black Man. I want to thank Dero. I want to thank Kesey. I want to thank Terrence Rodriguez. I want to thank, who else we got there? D Brown. I think I said Kesey. I want to thank Country Roads. I want to thank Ben from BS3 Sports, man. I appreciate all of y'all jumping in here, man. I appreciate everybody that's going to be watching this maybe a little bit later. Enjoy. AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game tomorrow, man. We'll do this again. Make sure, thewaitaminuteshow.com, click on the YouTube logo, and make sure you are liking, you are subscribing, and you are turning on the notification box and leaving a comment for your boy. So I'm going to get out of here, man. We'll get ready for episode 201, and we'll do it all over again. So for your man, Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show, I'm going to holler at y'all later. Two things as always. Stay positive and push forward. And we're going to holler at y'all later. Monet! You didn't even do 1 year. Give him 1 year. You gave that brother 4 years, man. 4 years. All right, y'all, I'm out.